Hey guys, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you the new Tom Ford Soleil Neige eyeshadow quad in Naked Pink. I'm going to show you close-ups and swatches in natural light, and also I'm going to create a look using this eyeshadow palette. If that's your first time here, welcome. I would love to have you as part of this amazing beauty family that we have here, so please be sure to subscribe and also follow me on Instagram. Now let's go ahead and get started with this eyeshadow palette. I usually love the Soleil Neige eyeshadow quads from Tom Ford. All of the swatches that I'm going to insert right now are going to be made in natural light and filmed in natural light. I want to show you a close-up of the palette, and I want to show you also swatches in natural light so that you can make an informed decision whether this palette is right for you or not. Now I have to say that I'm a little bit nervous about this eyeshadow palette because generally, I love the Soleil Neige collections from Tom Ford, and I have the previous two Soleil Neige collections. They were absolutely gorgeous. This eyeshadow quad is from the regular formula of Tom Ford. This is not the wet and dry formula, and I usually enjoy more the wet and dry formula of Tom Ford because the colors are a lot more intense. They can be used wet and dry, but I find that even if I use them dry, they have excellent, outstanding pigmentation. This one is the regular formula from Tom Ford. However, I have to say that when I swatch the colors, the powders are very firmly pressed and they are not very pigmented. So keep in mind that the swatches that you're seeing right now are made, I had to swatch the colors. I had to swatch each color 4 times to get this amount of pigment on my arm. I don't have moisturizer on my arm, and I don't have primer. Now we are going to see how the colors are going to look on my eyes. I have to be honest, and I'm not very impressed with the way these colors swatch on my arm. They definitely appear very sheer, and I'm not sure how they are going to look on my eyes. Of course, on the eyes we always use primer, which makes the colors stand out a little bit more, or even a little bit of concealer on the eyelid is going to help the color to stick much better on the eyelid and to show up much better. But still, these colors are quite pale, and let's go ahead and see how they are going to look on my eyes. So as you can see, I already have my base, and all of the products that I used on my face are going to be in the description box. I want to focus today only on the Soleil Neige eyeshadow quad from Tom Ford, and this is in Naked Pink. Now you can probably see that these colors are not very pink. The colors don't look very pink, they look more like a nude colors. But let's go ahead and see what's going to happen on my eyes now. I have a little bit of primer on my eyelids just because I always like to use a little bit of concealer or a little bit of primer on my eyelids. And yes, let's go ahead and start. So the colors here are quite pale, and I'm going to do both of my eyes simultaneously because I want to show you really how the colors look on my eyelids. And if I play with the palette, you're going to be able to see more the separate colors. So I'm going to start with the palest matte color and a crease brush, and I'm going to be applying this color. So I can very easily pick up the matte color, and I think this is going to be excellent just used as a transition color. However, keep in mind that since it is quite pale, I'm not sure how this is going to look on people who have deeper skin tone than mine, and I'm quite pale. I'm pretty sure that this one is going to show on my eyelid, but I'm also quite pale. Okay, so this is how it looks, and in real life I can definitely see the color. It does define a little bit my crease here. It did define my crease a little bit. It's very lightly visible, so I don't know what's going to happen if you have deeper skin tone than mine, but it actually blends quite easily and it defines beautifully this part of my eye, the crease. So I'm going to get a different brush with short, dense bristles, and I'm going to be getting this color here, this champagne color with light sheen. Doesn't really have a shimmer, but it has a light sheen. It's almost like a highlighting shade, and I'm going to be applying this color in the inner corner of my eye, and also I'm going to drag the color a little bit on my eyelid so that we can see. So I'm pleasantly surprised, but this color is actually visible on my eyelid. I can see the sheen, and I actually like it because I like subtle makeup looks. Next, I'm picking this shade and I'm going to apply this all over the eyelid. And this shade actually is quite firm. You can see how much I'm picking with my brush. I can pick up the color with my brush, but with the finger and swatched with finger, it's a disaster. So I'm going to be applying this color here. Let's see how much of a pigmentation I'm going to get. I would say that this palette is a little unusual for Tom Ford because I've never encountered such a Tom Ford palette where the colors are very, very lightly pigmented. I need to finish my makeup to be able to let you know, guys, what I think. Okay, so the color is visible, but I would say that it's very lightly visible. So you can definitely create a very subtle makeup look with this eyeshadow palette. Now, I want to just go ahead and apply this color all over my eyelid, on the other eye where I haven't applied anything on my eye, just because I want us to see the most intense color of this eyeshadow palette, how it's going to show up on my eyelid and what's going to happen. Now let's go ahead and apply this quickly. I'm just roughly applying the color and placing the color all over my eyelid just to see how much pigmentation can we get from this color and from this palette, like the most intense look that we can get from this palette. That's just for demonstrating purposes. I know that I'm going to look weird with two different eye makeup looks, but I just want to show you. Okay, and I can actually see here the naked pink color, which I think so I can definitely say that it looks a lot more intense than on my swatches. On my swatches, this color almost doesn't show up, so you definitely have to use brushes. And on the eyes, the palette looks completely different compared to what it looks like with the swatches, but you definitely have to kind of build up the color. It's actually not hard to build up the color. I'm not going to edit out this part of the video, and you can see that for a minute I was able to build up the color, and if I was not on camera this was going to happen much quicker, of course, but I'm always much slower when I'm filming. I actually love this color. This color is really pretty. And this is what we have so far. I actually love this color here that I got. I actually really like it. It's a very gentle, soft pink color. It's almost like a peachy pink color, which I love. And I love this lovely shift of color. It does have a little bit of tiny sheen that is very gentle, very sophisticated. Definitely this eyeshadow palette doesn't swatch well, but on the eyes it looks quite well. So I'm going to get the champagne color now, and I'm going to apply this on the inner corner of my eye. Just adding some highlight here. Okay, and now let's go ahead and try the topper shade on both of my eyelids. I just want to see how it's going to look. I'm going to dip. You can see how much I'm getting, and I'm going to place it right here. And then let's go ahead and try also to apply a little bit here on this eye. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of kohl eyeliner and some mascara, and I'm going to be back with my final thoughts on this eyeshadow palette. So this is the finished look, and if I have to be honest, I actually love this makeup look. I love everything about this makeup look. I mean, both looks, this one and this one. And I'm very surprised because I was actually expecting to say, don't buy this palette, don't waste your money on this palette. The truth is that it's all up to you, and it depends very much on your makeup style. Now I realized that, and I noticed actually in the past year, that the more I film videos for YouTube and the more makeup I test, I tend to like the more pigmented, more intense colors, and I started to like a little more adventurous palettes. However, if I have to be honest, before starting my YouTube channel, this was actually going to be an eyeshadow palette that I would fall in love with, because this is exactly the kind of colors that I would wear and I would love. Before having a YouTube channel, I would just like this kind of very subtle makeup looks. Now, I'm not sure, it all depends on you, whether you are willing to spend this amount of money on a Tom Ford eyeshadow palette. All Tom Ford eyeshadow palettes are quite expensive. They are really on the pricey side, so it's all up to you. The colors are not unique, but they are beautiful. I'm not sure how these colors are going to look on someone with medium to deep skin tone. Probably they're not going to be best. So keep that in mind. But if you are pale like me, if you have similar skin tone like me, and if you like very subtle makeup looks, then this palette I think is good, is really good. Now, I cannot explain why the colors don't swatch, and they literally don't show up on my arm, but on my eyes they look really beautiful. Probably that's because on my arm, when I do the swatches, I don't moisturize my hand and I don't apply primer, and here on the eyes I always apply primer, and it's always different. When you swatch on the arm, the swatches can look different than they do on the eyes, and that's why I always try to show you close-ups of the palettes and swatches in natural light, and I also like to show you how everything looks on my eyes so that you can make an informed decision for yourself based on my coloring, your makeup collection. So I think that this is a decision that you have to make for yourself. Now, in terms of quality, I'm going to go over each shade right now. So I just want to give you a quick review of each color. So this color actually looked very beautiful on my eyelids. It's a very light champagne color that definitely shows when applied with a brush and on my eyelids. This color I really like as a transition shade, or just to define my crease. I really love and enjoy this shade, but I suppose that if you're darker than me, it's probably not going to show up on you. The topper shade is absolutely gorgeous. The glitter here is so fine and so somehow divine, and it really gives me the Tom Ford Soleil Neige vibes. So the glitter here is lovely. The topper shade is really, really beautiful. This color, this rosy, beautiful rosy, peachy rosy color, I absolutely love it on my eyelid, applied alone. Now, with that being said, keep in mind that this is a daytime palette, so if you want to create an intense nighttime look, this is definitely not the palette. But if you like a very soft, very subtle daytime look, I think it's a good palette. You see how the colors perform, you see the swatches on my arm versus what happened on my eyes. The eye makeup look that I created with this palette, I absolutely love it. Still, I'm not sure if this warrants the high price tag of this eyeshadow palette. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Take care. Bye.